Hello guys, BrickTipster here, and welcome back to another episode of BrickTipster Answers, where I go ahead and grab your guys' questions from the previous video and throw them into the next video. So this is episode 2. So if you have any questions for me for episode 3, go ahead and drop those in the comment section below, and I'll grab some of those out and answer them in episode 3 to the best of my ability. So without further ado, let's go ahead to the questions. First of all, we have from Barnaby998, which says, is there a set they need to redo right away? Hot take, Luke's land speeder definitely needs to get redone. Okay guys, okay. It's just a joke, okay? We don't need more Luke's land speeders. So when I actually read this question, I was like, okay, Luke's land speeder, of course, the joke came to mind, but I'm like, what actually do I want remade? And maybe this is just me, but Peach's Castle. I know that came out as a set, of course, with our, the Mario, with the little Mario electronic thing that would go through the starting course, or the additional expansions that you can add to it, and when you turn it off, it looks super creepy. But I think they should redo Peach's Castle. I was not happy with the release of Mario that came through for it. As a kid, I had played Nintendo 64, I had played Super Mario, I had loved Lego and played with Lego, and I always wanted to have Nintendo figures. I wanted to have like a big fig, of course, of Bowser, a big fig of Donkey Kong. I mean, like, just all the characters. And then when they announced it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's finally happening. Granted, I'm an adult, but okay, I have adult money, I'll go ahead and just buy the sets. And then they came out with the everyone knows, and I'm sure there's a ton of kids that actually do like them, but personally, as a kid, I think I still would have chosen like the minifigures and the build over like electronic Mario going through a course. That is just me. So I think if I was to pick one set to remake right now, it would be Peach's Castle. Give us like, maybe like a $400, $500 looking set, include those iconic figures, have the inside have all the portraits so that Mario would jump through. I'm sorry, yes, it is going to be Super Mario 64 themed, and just have that with it. If you want to add a sound brick, fine, grab that and play the Super Mario theme there. But I think having a display piece with a ton of those characters as just just paying homage to the Nintendo and the partnership that we do have with Lego, and just giving, of course, the fans what they want. And yes, it's going to be a larger set, behind a paywall. You can definitely do smaller sets for the kids, but if I was going to redo a set and it's me with my adult money buying it, it would be Peach's Castle. Next up, we have from Chill Guy, and that question is, what do you think is the peak era of Lego Star Wars? Now, I had to actually kind of think about this for a little bit, because nostalgia of course, pulls me back to 1999. I was born in the 90s. That is when Lego Star Wars came out, was 1999. I had watched the movies over and over and over and over again, and I loved Lego, and when they announced that Star Wars was coming to Lego, I just lost it. Yeah, actually, funny enough, Luke's land speeder was my first set. But I would say 2012, 2013 was probably peak Star Wars for me. Just the amount of sets that we had, just the quality of the minifigures. I mean, the molds. I watched Return of the Jedi over and over again, and I always loved Jabba's palace and all those types of things. We got the Rancor. I think that is 100% the only set that we have the Rancor from. And you got actually the top side of Jabba's palace, the bottom side. You have where we had like named Jedi in a set from Palpatine's arrest. I mean, in the movies, of course, they didn't really last very long, but still, like, we could actually make them last longer than in the movie. But just all those types of things. We had some of the Old Republic sets come out, or I think all the Old Republic sets come out during that time. My favorite of those would be the Darth Malgus's Sith Fury class infiltrator would be my favorite in there. I mean, just him as a minifigure is amazing with his kind of like breather and like shoulder thingy. But I think 2012, 2013 would be for me. I think probably for a lot of other people too. But I would encourage just kind of hear what you guys think in the comments. If you guys think that there is a different year, go ahead and throw that in the comments. It'd be really, I just really enjoy, seeing what you think is peak Star Wars and why. So thank you, Chill Guy, for that question. And speaking of Chill Guy, you were our YouTube random comment picker. I know you had commented on a short, but then you had also commented in the video you're supposed to comment in. Please, guys, make sure that you're commenting in actually the episode videos, not the shorts that I put out. But I did pull from there. And Chill Guy, you got our winning on our random comment picker. So of course, I'll be getting those polybags out to you, as well as that movie poster tile. Just let me know, did you want the original like movie poster of A New Hope, or would you like the more like newer updated version of the movie poster? Just let me know in the comments, and I'll get that sent off to you. And again, if you would like to help me out to create content for episode 3, please drop a comment in this video here, and I'll pull those out. And then you'll also be winning some Lego as well, depending on kind of like how many comments I have. I was talking about if I have over 100 likes, I'll boost up the the prize. It's not just gonna be polybags and some of those tiles. I can boost up to sets. I did do a set a release on my on episode 0. I gave away an $80 Lego set, but I just want to give back to the community. But I just need your guys' help to, of course, to make content. So go ahead and feel free to drop a comment below, and I would just look forward to that. Make sure you also subscribe and like the video to be entered into that giveaway. So Chill Guy, your question on this is, what are your thoughts on resale value? Now, I do like the resale value of Lego. You definitely have to go with sealed. If you're going with if you're going with already opened and or built and disassembled, unless it's like a really rare set, then that's gonna be hard. You're always having to worry about guaranteeing that all the pieces are there, that they're original pieces, they weren't substituted with maybe a slightly different color, all those types of things, yellowing, all those types of things. There's so many things that can go wrong with selling used, so I stick with sealed. Your best bet is, of course, Amazon, though a lot of people got through with Amazon with buying multiple of a certain quantity, and then submitting that to Amazon. Amazon's like, okay, you're good to go. I know Amazon did purge a lot of people from Amazon because they didn't have an official letter from Lego. I don't really honestly think anyone on Amazon that is selling Lego has an official letter from Lego saying that they can resell it. Maybe they maybe they do, or maybe they don't, but I feel like a lot of the sellers on there probably don't have that. I'm not able to sell on Amazon for that reason, which does hurt, because on eBay I'm trying to sell like a set like the Boba Fett helmet for $95, but it's selling actively on Amazon for $130 to $140. That really hurts to know that there's missed profit margins when I'm just trying to get someone to buy it for $95 when it's actively being bought for way more than that. So if you could get it on Amazon, that's great. There are YouTube videos out there of just some tips and tricks to try to get into the system. You definitely have to be pumping out a lot of sets, because they want to make sure that you have a distributor. Now, if you're your own distributor because you're buying them on clearance and then selling them, you better have a really large inventory, or else they will red flag you and kick you off. So eBay is a great second choice. I would not try Facebook Marketplace or anything. Everyone's just trying to get things for dirt cheap. But eBay is a really good secondary. I'm going to just basically sell through my inventory of the sets that I plan to sell through eBay, and then call that good and move on to something else, but still collect Lego, but just not on the investing side of it. Next question from Chris. It says, in your opinion, what is the worst Lego set? Chris, does this count? I mean, it's Lego. It's 3 pieces. It's Galador. I would say probably this is the worst Lego set. I actually had to kind of look around to try to figure out what what about your question. I know a lot of people would say the 4+ sets, but I don't think they deserve the hate that they get. They're nothing I would ever buy, yes, but they are for a specific purpose. They are for the little kids, okay? Yes, they do not look that great, but they need to be more simplistic for the kids. So you have to set the 4+ aside, because those are intended to be downgraded like that for little kids. And I'm just grateful that they have something for them that is not Duplo. So setting those aside, probably also the Jane Erso, buildable figure. I know that one is pretty bad, because that was on shelves for ever. And if there's ever a set that's on shelves for a crazy amount, or it's been retired for years and years, and it's actually worth less than it was at MSRP. I know M&R Productions always was talking about that one. So I would say probably that Galador is the worst, but you can definitely find some other ones. I'd be curious, what do you guys think? What do you guys think is the worst set? Did I not find the right one? Go ahead and post that in the comments below as well. That would be really fun to read. Next question we have from Carter Thompson, and it says, what's your favorite Lego set, and are you excited for the new Pokemon, and which one are you probably going to get? Well, Carter, I did answer your first part of your question in the previous BrickTipster Answers. I would say Lego Rivendell, that and Baradur. Now, the leaks did come through for Minas Tirith as well. I think that looks amazing as well, but I still think for me, Rivendell and Baradur are way up there, as well as I do love the Lion Knight's Castle that came out for the anniversary. So those are up there. Answering of your second part of your question is, I am grateful that Lego had a partnership with Pokemon. I do see Pokemon as, I am definitely a collector, so don't hate me when I say this, but I think it was intended for kids. Adult collectors jumped on it. We can also play it as well, but I feel like it's target audience. I mean, I tried watching like Pokemon Journeys, and that was hard to like watch. It is geared towards kids, and so I was expecting, I guess, with the first wave for it to actually be to kids, like where you actually have Ash, you have actually a Pikachu, maybe like new molds, like put forth the money. I'm sure there's a lot of money involved with Pokemon, and Pokemon is, I think, the largest IP out there. They're making a partnership with Lego. There's got to be money involved, and yes, it's going to cost money to make all the new molds. But I mean, can you imagine having an Ash minifigure and like a molded Pikachu? Like that would sell like crazy. And I mean, like, I was kind of expecting those to be the first couple sets, and yet we got a $60 Eevee, we got a $200 or $250 Pikachu, and then we have a $650 trio. I think those are like super expensive. The trio is great, but I was hoping for actually the first wave to be directed towards kids. Now, there is a rumor saying that they're going to be using the Smart Play brick in the new Pokemon sets. If they're going to do that and dummy everything down, I mean, like, look at the Star Wars sets that have it in there. I'm just like, there's no way I would ever pick one of those up. If they do that, then I'm just going to be like super sad. So if I was going to answer your question right now of the sets that we know about, it would be the trio. I chose not to buy it, which was a poor choice because the promo is selling for $300 and the set itself is $650, and people were selling their pre-orders of the set for $1,250. So I regret not buying the trio to get the free promo, because I typically do sell those promos in order to help fund for the set. But it would be the trio, and I might not, because I should have done it earlier. So thanks you for your question, Carter, and we'll move on to our next one, and it comes from Bentley. It says, what is my opinion on Lego Clone Troopers? I think my opinion of Clone Troopers has been illuminated by M&R Productions. He does a great job with kind of breaking everything down. I'll put a picture that he had shared on one of his videos up here, where it's just kind of talking about the inaccuracies between even just the setup to where the positioning is, gaps, no gaps, coloring. Of course, helmet holes is a huge thing in the Lego community, and then the cameras. He has talked about over and over again that they can fully sit down with an actual camo. We don't need to print one on there. So I would probably default to what M&R is talking about. I would agree with him. He knows a lot more about the clones and the accuracy or versus inaccuracy with them. So I think there's a lot of arguments to say, why are they getting worse? Or why, if we have, we're so far into with our technology, can we not just make these how they should be? So that is where I'm at on that one. Next question from Cannon Garcia. It says, do you ever upgrade my Lego sets? I have not upgraded them. Of course, as a kid, I would change them. I would always stuck actually with the set. I was never, hey, take everything apart and build something new. I had like my pieces to be creative with, but then I had my sets that I actually played with. And yes, I could add to them, but I still kept like the bones there. I would say I'm going to be building the Lion Knight's Castle very soon. I did buy a ton of like botanicals for it, new flowers, vines, just all those types of things, all the new foliage. I want to kind of like make it more like that, and I would like to do something like around it as well. And have like maybe a fenced in area where all the sheep are, for like, the pathway coming up to the castle. So I think that's what I would do, is kind of help, like, even in the Pokemon world, when you have like your card and then you by a frame. That's the extended art. It's taking what's already there and then expanding it, and just kind of just putting a picture and a story together. So I think that's where I would be for that. Is upgrading would be just more adding more aesthetics to it, and just making it a little bit more immersive. So thank you, Canon Garcia, for your question. And our last question for this episode of BrickTipster Answers comes from Gwendolyn, which says, what is your favorite way to sort lots of Legos? I would say, I think they're called the Acro Mills. I bought them. They can be really kind of cheap. I just feel like they're just... I mean, there's plastic remnants on them that you have to cut away once you get them a lot of the times when you receive them, but they're a good way to sort your Lego. I, as a kid, always kept my sets together, and so all my childhood sets are actually in like gallon-sized bags or bigger bags than that with their instruction booklets. If you have a ton of just random pieces, part of me, like, I would donate it to a school or things like that. I don't want to try to go through everything and try to make the set to be able to like resell the set. If they're all mixed in, that's just going to be a huge headache. But I do use Acro Mills for a lot of the smaller pieces to separate those, because of those maybe the pieces that I might need to like substitute, or like if I have missing pieces, I would use the Acro Mills. I think I bought like 8 of them, and I have a lot of pieces in those. So that's how I would sort my Lego. But I'm sure there's a lot out there, but then also depends how much Lego you actually have. So thank you so much for your question as well. And again, guys, if you have any questions for me, I mean, there's a lot of questions that I actually waiting for people to ask me, but I'm just going to hold off on those. So please go ahead and drop those down in the comment section below. If you do that, go ahead and please also subscribe and like the video in order to be entered into a Lego giveaway. Depending, of course, on how many likes the video gets, I'm going to just continue to up that prize. And so just that's my way of just thank you so much for helping me make content for this new series that I'm doing on my channel. So again, thank you guys so much for participating. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of BrickTipster Answers, and we'll hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye, guys.